I don't know what to call this video. I mean, it's not really a rant because it's a review, but it's a rant within a review. And it sort of ties into the whole Recline and Rant theme, but it's about a video game specifically and talking mostly about that one. Let's say R&R stands for review and rant this time, I guess.
Recline. Review.
So as the title suggests, I went through and I played the Brigmore Witches downloadable content for Dishonored after playing the Knife of Dunwall. And I really liked it. It was really a real challenge because even though I've played Dishonored several times now, and I know I'm supposed to have uploaded more videos of that, but screen capture's not working right now for some reason. Working on fixing it even as I'm doing this review. And so, I enjoyed Dishonored a lot. That's why I enjoyed the Knife of Dunwall. It's pretty much more of the same. The Brigmore Witches is more of the same. And that's why I really like it. Note to all of you, spoilers. You get to the end of the Brigmore Witches and you're at the final fight. I was out there last night and I said, okay, it's probably going to be a big to-do, so I'm going to save and I'll come back to it tomorrow. So this morning I go in and I'm all ready for a big long fight. That big long fight took me all of 3 minutes. Now don't get me wrong, Delilah, you didn't really get to see her much throughout the entire game. But you did get to get hints of the fact that she's this powerful witch. She's going to be a tough foe. I mean, her cronies are tough. But she is not. You see, her fight was so easy. All I had to do was blink, stab, blink, jab in the neck that got her from behind. And that's it. You do that about 6 times and then she's over there by the painting going, Don't hurt me, please. You kill her? And that's it. Now, I understand that Dishonored is not big on the final boss things, but Knife of Dunwall, you do have a good fight at the end if you go for the High Chaos, which I played the way you're not supposed to play, so yeah, that's what I did. I went for the High Chaos. So you have to fight, and it's a good fight. And then Dishonored, okay, well, there's not really a big climatic fight there, but it's the lead up. You have a mission that is really tough, and I don't give you a little brief little fight thing just to satisfy you. It's dependent upon how you played the game. Brigmore Witches, no matter what, you are going to be let down. Pure and simple. But this got me to thinking. I've played a lot of video games. What other ones have really disappointed me overall with the final fight? And is it becoming more of a thing? Looking back at recent games, some of them have really disappointed me. I mean, they have a great concept and a great build-up, but then the end just falls flat. One I'm thinking of in particular was Fire Emblem Awakening for the 3DS. Now, this was a great game because I love Fire Emblem. You level up people, you move them all around on a chessboard, but there was more strategy to this one. There were some really tough fights, even if you were higher leveled. But then you get to the final fight, and not that hard. Mario games have the same kind of problem for the most part, because even in ones where they specify more that it's supposed to be more of an action-y game, they can still let you down. Mario Sunshine, Bowser's in a tub. What am I supposed to do with that? And then with Mario Galaxy 2, he's chasing you from meteorite to meteorite, and it's really kind of a letdown because the game itself was really good. You've got all these different worlds and you're facing them off on these planetoids, and it's cool. It's really good because they actually have a good fight system, and the music is awesome there too. But at the end, you're like, okay, now we're just bordering on the ridiculous. If you want to look at RPGs, I mean, Radiant Historia, the lead up to the boss, some of those enemies are a lot more difficult than the final boss. The final boss should be pretty difficult if you look at that, but the final boss was easy. I mean, really easy. You walk in there and you fight Heis and you fight the Apocrypha, and it's multi-levels fight, yes, but it's not up to the same caliber as some of those enemies on the way to facing him, and that's kind of disappointing. But even The Legend of Zelda, one of my favorite series of all time, it still has problems with this too. I suppose the most disappointing really is the Ganondorf fight from Wind Waker. I mean, it's a cool and all duel, and it's a fun duel, but from a Zelda game, you kind of expect more than just the simple duel. There at least needs to be a little bit something more to it, but there wasn't. It was different. I give it that. It was different. It was fun. But it was not up to the standard of, say, Ganondorf and Ganon from Ocarina of Time. And that's still one of the great fights there. But in this case, you just have a duel with Ganon, and it's not that tough. It's really pretty easy. Especially if you know how to parry attack. If you know how to parry attack, that fight's over. It's over already. I mean, you can make the argument that this is a fight that you had to work to get to, so they don't want you to die to the final boss and have to do it all over again. I mean, yeah, you can do that. You can make that argument. But in games like Dishonored, you can quick save at any time you really want. In Radiant Historia, you can level up. There are workarounds. You don't need to have a final boss who is not as strong. I mean, overall, the Dishonored series, I love it. It is fun. You have choices to make. You have a first-person slasher stabber game. It's really good, and there's magic even. But when you give me an ending where I'm fighting against Delilah, and there's only 6 Delilahs, and they're just like normal enemies, that's a letdown. That is a serious letdown. I was upset. So, is this a continual trend? Is this going to keep on happening where video games are not going to be as challenging with the final bosses just because they don't want you to die and have to do it over? I really hope not. Because part of the fight to win the game is have a save point right before the boss, first of all. But second of all, make it challenging enough so that way you accomplish something at the end. It's not just a, oh, I made it through a really tough dungeon. It's, I fought this hard boss. Even after going through this tough dungeon, I won. That is what I like to get out of my video game. So while I enjoy Brigmore Witches for the whole lead up to it, the final boss fight really made me angry. So even though I really enjoyed the Brigmore Witches up to that point, my opinion is kind of jaded right now because that was a lame final boss fight. And yeah, there's no defense for it. So just an update, everybody, also, because I just got the update now. The reinstallation of my Corel Video Studio X6 Ultimate is now functioning. I can now do screen capture without a problem. And so, in honor of the occasion, I will be changing my red scarf for this really long white one of happiness. I know, it's not that special, but screen capture works.